I'm at a loss for words of what's going on right now. Just moments ago, the day two of the 2025 NFL Draft, rounds 2 and 3 wrapped up, and I'm sure you've seen all across social media as well as if you watched the whole draft. Shedeur Sanders is still available. I made a video this morning talking about the recap of it and talking about a little bit about Shedeur Sanders in this one, at least in the recap, and then also the video itself for Shedeur Sanders, saying it's embarrassing, of course, for himself and his father that he was not taken in the first round, seeing that he proclaimed that he was going to be taken relatively high in the first. I thought he'd been maybe a late first round pick to Pittsburgh or to the Giants, who traded up to 25th overall. That wasn't the case. So I thought at least a second round pick is possible. You look at early on, the teams I mentioned was Cleveland, New Orleans, Vegas as well. Maybe an outside chance I threw out there was the Rams. I may have mentioned Seattle too. I can't remember. But there was plenty of teams still that was looking for a quarterback still. And it did not happen. It's if you would have told somebody a week out before the draft, the day before, the day of, that Shedeur Sanders through 3 rounds would still be available, they probably wouldn't believe you. Even if they weren't Shedeur Sanders fans and didn't believe him at all, it is insane. I don't think any of us expected this, and certainly, people are going as far as say it's one of the wildest stories in the NFL draft history for a prospect. So not only that, there was 3 quarterbacks taken ahead of him. One of them is certainly questionable, no doubt about that for what he is. So I just posted this just now. 3 quarterbacks. The first one was taken 40th overall, Tyler Shook to New Orleans. Mind you, this guy is going to be 26 years old when the season starts. I don't care how good he is or whatever his profile may be. This is to me is almost like a Brandon Weeden selection. 26 years old for your potential franchise quarterback. By the time he gets into the end of his fifth year option, end of his rookie deal, he's going to be close to his mid-30s. Sorry, early 30s. My apologies. He'll be 31, 32 by the time the 5th year option ends. And still, how much more time does he have left after that? Maybe another 5 years. So at most, you have a 10-year span, at most, which is not. I'm not saying that's absolutely horrible, because people will say, if you can get 10, 15 years out of a quarterback, that's great. So that is on par of what you say. But again, for me, a 26-year-old quarterback who has extremely limited amount of games played in the collegiate level is mind-blowing that you would take this guy over Shedeur Sanders. I don't have any faith in this selection. I don't know why he's so highly touted, in my opinion. I think, to me, I'm really just stuck on the age aspect. I don't get it at all whatsoever. Horrible selection by New Orleans Saints, in my opinion. In what they could have had in Shedeur Sanders. To me, this would have been a steal, in my opinion. Regardless of how you feel about Shedeur Sanders, I think for what he brings to the table, the mental aspect, the arm, the accuracy, taking care of the football in terms of turnovers. To me, this would have been a great selection here to develop and sit behind Derek Carr for a year or so, be with a great pairing with Kellen Moore. This would have been amazing. Nope, they go with Tyler Shook, which we'll see. Again, we'll see what he can do. After that, it skipped all the way to the 3rd round, where both the next 2 quarterbacks were taken just a couple a couple picks apart, with Jalen Milroe, 92nd overall to Seattle. And this is a post I did make a couple weeks ago with great landing spots or good fits for Jalen Milroe. I did have Seattle there, which they get right on for that one. You can sit behind Sam Darnold for a year or so and develop. I understand that in terms of high upside for him, for trying to figure out my quarterback 3, I would slightly lean towards him just because of the high upside and what he can bring to you. At most, maybe he can be similar to a Jalen Hurts. Great mobility, good arm strength. Just has to kind of hone in on the accuracy, and I think he can be just fine for you. Again, I can't sit here. He's going to be, I said for sure, top 5 MVP, Super Bowls, this and that. I don't know. If you surround the guy, if he can develop into the right way you hope he can be, and you put the right pieces around them, any quarterbacks can really succeed. So we'll see with that. Again, I get the high upside because of the physical tools, but still, you had Shedeur Sanders there. And, when you look at him for the second quarterback and for rankings overall, for at least for the for some people like myself, I'm sure it was obviously it's telling you vastly different what teams felt about Shedeur. But again, I thought that a great selection there for Seattle. Not only that, Cleveland had passed over him multiple times. Multiple times. I didn't expect him to be the 33rd overall pick. I said in the video too, again for sure. It's not a pressing need. You don't have to take him 33rd overall. You can get your whatever skill position player or whatever it may be, and you can take him 36. And I was waiting for that 36 pick. Did not go. I was waiting for the Raiders pick. They traded out. And then of course, you had the Saints getting Tyler Shook. And it's I don't know. It's very it's mind blowing. And now you had 94th overall Dylan Gabriel to the Cleveland Browns, who is kind of similar arc of Bo Nix, where he's had plenty of starts. He had the stats are impressive, no doubt about that. Has bounced around to multiple teams with UCF, Oklahoma, and Oregon. So again, maybe you kind of hope on hitting the home run similar to Bo Nix. The veteran experience really, in terms of experience in the collegiate level, kind of carries over, and there's not as much of a learning curve for him because of just all the experience he has playing. The biggest concern, no doubt, is his size. He is. I mean, if you think Shedeur Sanders is small, Dylan Gabriel is. He's 5'11", 205, I think, as well for the weight. Is he more mobile? Of course he is. Maybe for arm strength, maybe it's a little bit better for Dylan Gabriel. Who I don't know really to really put it there, but the size is concerning. Again, no doubt about that. 5'11" is it impossible for a quarterback to play that size? No, you have Kyler Murray, which maybe you could push back because of the injury and so forth. Bryce Young, I mean, still the jury's still out there, relatively young. Early to call it how it is, but hasn't panned out too much. Not all his fault, but again, looking at his career, hasn't been too impressive thus far. So you look at Dylan Gabriel. Is this a franchise quarterback? I mean, if they draft relatively high next year, their eyes might be set on Manning because they're gonna have 2 first-round picks, and it all depends on what Jacksonville does. So maybe they have their eyes set on on someone else in 2026 if things don't go well. But I would assume for a 3rd-round pick, a very high value still, in my opinion, for a 3rd round, that Dylan Gabriel will be given some type of opportunity to showcase himself. Again, even with that too, you had the opportunity to get Shedeur Sanders. Even worse of all, you had the opportunity to get Travis Hunter and Shedeur Sanders. At least for Travis Hunter, we can all agree he's a fantastic player. You passed over him. You traded back. Again, you got a great return from Jacksonville, but it's tough. For me, it's tough to pass over a guy like that, potential generational player. So Cleveland kind of messed up multiple times in this one. It's I don't know how to describe it. Again, it's very shocking to see how far Shedeur Sanders has fallen. I can't even just sit here and say, oh, there's no doubt about that. He's going to be taken in the 4th round, because at this point, I don't know. I don't think any of us truly know. At least for opening spots, it's getting pretty bare. No doubt about that. And if you kind of go into the mock draft, of course they have the actual listings as well. I just don't know where it goes at this point. I mean, Seattle was at the 50th overall as well. I may pass all our teams as well. I apologize. Again, we had 50th overall pick as well. They go with Tyler Beck. No problem there. They need wide receiving help, but still, Shedeur Sanders is right there for the taking. The Giants could have been, but like I said, they took Jackson Dart in the 1st round as well. And I at this point, I don't know where else he can go, truly. I mean, the 2 spots still for quarterbacks, the jury's still out for that. For the question marks, is the Steelers still need somebody. They have Mason Rudolph, which is not that impressive. Okay quarterback, not that impressive. We don't know if whenever Aaron Rodgers decides to sign his contract and be with the team, if that ever happens. So the Steelers is still an opportunity as well for a landing spot. The Rams could be because of just the long term. You look at the future for Matthew Stafford. How much longer can he play? So that's certainly a possibility as well. The Raiders, I mean, they had back-to-back picks, too. That makes it even worse, is 98 and 99. And they passed over him multiple times, especially at that spot. It blows my mind. Honestly, it does. At this point, it's a lot of the places have been filled up. Whether you agree with the picks or not, with the Saints, with the Browns, with the Seahawks, they found their guys. Whether they truly turn out to be eventually the quarterbacks, who knows? But the positions it's taken. So only three teams for sure. I mean, at least three teams I see left that could take him is again the Raiders, Rams, and Steelers. Steelers is the only one that truly he has opportunity to start right away. The other two he's gonna have to sit for for a little bit as well. But again, I don't know what to say. I mean, all over Twitter, people are just going off on about it. It's very polarizing. Some people as well agree with, he was just overhyped to begin with. He's not worth it. If you take away the Sanders name, we wouldn't even have this discussion about this controversy. And the flip side, kind of myself and a lot of others too, is it's insane of how far he's fallen this one. So we'll see what happens tomorrow in day 3. If he gets taken, I would love to sit here and say it's going to be the 4th round, but at this point, I mean, I didn't even think he was going to make it past the 1st. I didn't think he was going to pass the 2nd. I didn't think he was going to pass the 3rd. So there's a good chance he might get past the 4th, and we're going to be talking about 5th round pick selection at this one. So it's, again, mind-blowing to see how this is shaken out. For Shedeur's sake, I really hope you go out there and you prove these people wrong. I mean, I feel like there is something. Maybe it's me being a little too overreacting to it and looking too much into it and being, conspiracy. It almost feels like he's getting blackballed in a way, and they're trying. The league's kind of out to get him. Maybe everyone's, maybe just look at the rational part of it too. If you want to look at the other side, is just maybe teams just don't look at him as that good of a quarterback. There's no vendetta. It's just that no one really views him that great. That could be the option too, but to me, I think teams are just messing up on these selections, especially the other quarterbacks you see ahead. The only one I can I can see the argument with is Jalen Milroe because of just the physical upside and the high potential that he has. But even then, I mean, he's right there. But Dylan Gabriel and Tyler Shook, I mean, it's kind of a slap in the face at that point, in my opinion. So we'll see what happens in day 3 for Shedeur Sanders if or when he gets taken.